Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 4, The Atrocities of King Kamsa. So yesterday we read that Kamsa is now, after hearing from Durga Devi, that the person who would kill him is born somewhere else, and that Kamsa should not unnecessarily do violence or hurt his sister Devaki, or it can mean he should not unnecessarily hurt innocent babies. And then Durga Devi disappeared. By hearing this, Kamsa was astonished that Durga Devi has taken birth from his sister Devaki. Durga Devi is what do you say? Divine, transcendental, divine, yes, transcendental. So, and this divine personality has taken birth from my sister, so my sister must be also divine. Otherwise, how divine person is taking birth from her? That's his calculation. So now he is afraid, oh my God, I have committed so many offenses towards my sister, I have killed her children, what will happen to me? So immediately he released them. Vasudeva and Devaki, he released them from the chains, right, that were binding them. And then he began to, with great humility, he began to speak to them. So we saw that he said, what did he say? That like a Rakshasa, man-eater Rakshasa who eats its own children, I have committed such cruel activities towards you, Devaki. I have killed your innocent children. I don't know what will happen to me. I don't know to which planets I will go because of this sin after my death. And even while living, I don't know what kind of, destination is awaiting me. I will have to suffer untold miseries because of this, like that. So he said, Aho Bhagini, Aho Bhama, Maya Vam Bata Papmana, Purushada Ivapatyam Bahavo Himsita Sutaha. Right? Sutaha. I've caused, Sutaha means plural. So this is text 15. So I have caused so much himsa, right, to your children. I don't like that. And then in the next verse he said, Satvaham Tyakta Karunyas Tyakta Gyati Suhrit Khalaha. I have given up mercy, right? I have lost all in knowledge, and I forgot my my behavior of being a well-wisher. I became so cruel. I don't know what will happen to me. Kan lokan vai gamishyami. I don't know to which planet I will go. Brahma heva mrita shwasan. Right? It's like killing a brahmana. When you kill a brahmana, you have very bad reaction. Right? Brahma hatya. You become Brahma Rakshasa. Like that. That means your destination is very bad. So, I don't know to which planet I will go. And for even while breathing also, I don't know. After death and even while leaving, I don't know. One second. This part I'm not sure. Let me check text 16. Yeah. Therefore, like a person who has killed a Brahmana. Correct. So, like a person who has killed a Brahmana, he'll get, the type of destination that he gets. Like that, I'm also going to get a very bad destination for killing your children. Then further he says, Daivam apyanritam. Now he's preaching. Preaching means he's trying to pacify. First of all, he, I don't know, I'm just observing this. When Devaki, what was Devaki's strategy? You killed my children, and then she said, but it is my own destiny, you're not to be blamed. And finally, please give me a charity. I am so poor, right? Do you see like that Kamsa also? First of all, like means in reverse order, he is saying that, oh, I have killed children, I don't know what will happen to me, I will suffer so much for all that. And second, now he is saying, this is all arranged, Daivim, they have their own karma, right? Here, one thing that was brought out yesterday, we saw, he mentioned that you should be happy that Durga Devi has come as your child. So he's trying to, show the brighter side. Yes, you have lost so many children, but Durga Devi, the divine Durga Devi has come as your child, so you should be happy for that. And as far as the children that were killed, don't worry. Why? Because that is not in our control. Durga Devi is the controller. We are all controlled. And that Durga Devi, who is the controller, has come as your child. You become happy for that. And that also signifies that we are all simply controlled. She is the controller. So your children, when they will take birth, when they will die, how they will die, they are also controlled. You are controlled. I am controlled. Being controlled, all these things happen. So you shouldn't feel sorry for that. And of course, Madhava is saying, but it is your mistake that you did that. Of course.
No, I said when I did your mistake, then it's finding like an excuse like that.
Right. So when Kamsa heard that eighth child was going to kill, he could have thought the same way. We are all controlled. I'm supposed to die at a certain time by higher arrangement. So he should have thought of the same philosophy for himself. For himself, that philosophy it didn't apply to him. But now for Devaki, he's speaking, oh, you should just accept it. It's just destiny. For himself, he couldn't take that as destiny. Yeah, good point. So now, yeah. So these children, they don't feel sorry, and let's say I didn't kill them, they didn't die. Even if they lived, there is no guarantee how long they will live. After all, we come because we are controlled beings. When we will come together, when we will be separated, it's not within our control. So why you're feeling so sorry now? It's okay, right? Just because when you become attached, that's when it gives you pain, right? So even if they were living, still there's no guarantee that you're going to be with them all the time. You will not be. In fact, the guarantee is you won't be with them. At some point you'll be separated. So don't become sorry for those that died. Become happy that Durga Devi has taken birth as your daughter. That's the point. Text 17 says that Daivam apyanritam vakti na martya eva kevalam yad vishrambhad aham papaha svasur nihatavan chishun. No, that's not the verse. That is, alas, not only human beings are, 17 said that I thought only the human beings lied. But now I see even the divine personalities lie. That Akashvani said that your eighth child is going to kill me, but Durga Devi revealed that somewhere else, the person who will kill me is born somewhere else. That means Akashwani told a lie, like that. So that was text 17. Okay, so 16 said that I don't know where I'll go for the sinful activities. 17th was said that uh, even Akashwani also lies. I didn't know this, and I'm such a sinful person that believing the Akashwani's words, I killed all my sister's children. So this is still the first. Huh? Yeah, he was blaming the demigods. I'm not the one to be blamed. The demigods, they told a lie. But again, he put some blame on himself also. I'm so sinful that I believed the words and then I killed my own sister's children. Ma shochatam. So this is the verse. This is what we read yesterday. Ma shochatam. Don't grieve. Don't worry. Mahabhaga. You are so fortunate. Why? Atmajan swakritam bhujaha. Right? As your child, you had Atmajan swakritam bhujaha. Jantavo. Yesterday we didn't look at the Sanskrit words. We can take a look at the Sanskrit words. You can understand the shloka better by looking at the Sanskrit. So, ma shochatam means don't. Right? Ma means not. So, ma shochatam, don't be aggrieved. Mahabhaga means, oh, most fortunate one. Atmajam means the one who is born from you for your sons. Swakritam, by their own karma. Swakritam, by their own karma. Your sons, by their own karma. Bhujaha. Bhujaha means, like, remember the other day I said, Bhunjana evatma kritam. Bhujna means what? Frying. Like you fry, aloo bhaja, you say, aloo bhaja means fried potato. So bhujaha means you're getting fried or you're suffering. When you get fried, what happens? You suffer, right? Like that, bhujaha. So they are suffering because of their own activities. That means they got killed as soon as they were born. This was their own karma. They got the reaction to their own karma. So ma shochatam, you don't aggrieve for your sons. They are suffering their own karmic reactions. Jantavo na sadai katra. Jantavaha, jantu, right? Jantu means what? We say animals. Actually, jantavaha means all living beings. So all living entities. Na sada ekatra. Sada means always ekatra in one place. Living entities cannot stay together all the time. Isn't it? Now, when the children are small, we are all staying together, father, mother, children. Where are our father and mother? We are not living with them, right? We are separated. What to speak of our grandmother, grandfather? We become separated. This is the nature. Living entities are not always together. You become separated. So this is the law of nature. We cannot go against that. So your sons got separated. That means even if they were not killed, still they would not stay with you in future. At some point you will be separated. Jantavona sadai katra, daivadhinas tadasate. This is all destiny, daivadhina. Right? Destiny means by higher arrangement. We are controlled. That's the point. We are all controlled. And in that way, being controlled, we are living here. So that's what we saw yesterday. Next verse now. I think we read the purport, but we did not discuss it. Yes. So 19th verse, I'll just see. In this world, we can see that pots, dolls, and other products of the earth appear, break, and then disappear. Right? So we see, like with clay, pots are made, and similarly, dolls can be made, and other things are made. So they all have a life. They are made for some time, you use them, and after some time, they break, and they are broken, and they throw them. They disappear, right? They become, once again, they turn into clay in due course of time. So in this world, we can see that pots, dolls, and other products of earth, things made with clay pots, diyas, or little dolls, hundis, we make with clay, right? So all these things, they break and then they disappear. Similarly, The bodies of all conditioned living entities are annihilated, but the living entity like the earth itself are unchanged and never annihilated. Okay. So here he's saying, but why he's saying the earth? A living entity is the earth. That means, anyway, let's see. Bhuvi bhaumani bhutani yatha yanti apayanti cha nayam atma tathaiteshu viparyeti yathaiva bhu. We'll read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. So we'll understand, and then we'll understand in that light. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying here that Mahabhaga, oh, that we finished, right? 19. Kamsa continues, you should not lament. I think I'm not sharing the granola. The bartan. Outside, inside. See inside. Yeah. Okay, so you're able to see. Kamsa continues, you should not lament after considering the difference between the soul and matter. Further, Kamsa is saying, okay, don't lament. Why? By considering the difference between soul and matter. Just as clay pots are created and destroyed, the bodies of the individual living entities are created and destroyed. Okay. As the earth itself is not affected by these changes, similarly the living entity is not affected though the material body undergoes change. Okay, so here his intention is, Kamsa's intention is to say that the way the clay remains, right? First you have only clay, you make it into a pot, and after the pot is destroyed, still the clay will remain. The clay does not disappear. The pot was there for some time, we used it, and then it got broken and now we are not able to use it. You don't see the pot anymore. But the clay is always there. It was there before. The clay is there even when the pot is there, and after the pot is broken also clay is there. At all stages clay is there, but the pot is there only in the middle, in the interim stage. So Kamsa is comparing this pot to the material body and is comparing the clay itself to the spirit soul. So the spirit soul accepts different bodies. So one thing is, generally this example, generally this example is given by the Advaita philosophers, let me see which philosophers give this example. Not the Advaita philosophers. There's another category. I think the Sankhya, Nirishwarvadi. Yeah, the Nirishwarvadi philosophers. What they say is, because for them, according to their philosophy, there is no Ishvara. Nirishwara means what? They don't accept any supreme controller. According to them, the supreme doer is Prakriti. Prakriti is doing everything. But Prakriti is doing everything, but she's blind. She cannot see. So she needs the help of Purusha. Purusha means the living entity, individual living entity. So it's like a blind man and a lame man going together. The blind man is walking, taking the lame man on his shoulder. The lame man is able to see. So he is guiding the blind man, and the blind man is going to different places. In this way, both of them are going. So in this way, this whole material world is functioning. This is one philosophy, Nirishwarvada philosophy. So there they say that Prakriti is doing everything. Prakriti is the supreme. That's their philosophy. So there they say that Prakriti is, transforming, or even in Bhagavad Gita. Why I am saying this here is, okay, just I don't want to confuse you. But the point is, those who don't believe in the existence of the soul, what they say, I think Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter 26th verse, I think 25 or 26th verse, there Srila Prabhupada says, or actually Krishna is saying, even if you didn't believe in the existence of the soul, still there is no need to lament. Why? Because in the beginning, if you think that there is no soul, that you take birth and after you die, everything is finished. So you don't have to worry about karma. You understand? So that's one philosophy. So if you believe like that, then Krishna is saying still you should fight. Why? Because in the beginning, no soul was there, it was just matter. That matter has now come in the form of these different bodies, and after death again these bodies will become earth again they become matter. So if a pile of matter now in the form of Bhishma, Drona, if they're getting killed, why you should worry? You got the point? Before they were nothing, because you are saying there's no soul. If you don't believe in soul, now you got bodies. You don't believe in soul. Arjun is saying, my grandfather will die, my teacher will die. So if they die, I will lose them forever. So better I won't fight. So what is Krishna saying? That whole section in the 2nd chapter is talking about how you are not this body or spirit soul. After saying in several verses from 11th verse until 24, Krishna is saying, in 25 I think, he says that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul, and the difference between body and soul, how it's like the soul changing bodies is like a person changing clothes. Dehinosmin yatha dehe, the soul remains even though the body is changing in so many different ways, Krishna is saying. Finally Krishna says, even if you didn't believe in the existence of the soul, still there is no need to lament, because if all these people are if all these people are simply a bunch of matter, there's nothing to worry for matter. In the beginning there was matter, now it is in the form of these people, again the matter will be there. So you are attached to matter, that matter is going to be there even after the people are destroyed, like that. So there Krishna gives that argument. Why I am saying that here is, and actually Prabhupada says it is not the case, that's not reality, but that's just one philosophy. So when we look at this verse, it reminds us of that philosophy. Although, see, what is being said, we can see that pots, dolls and other products of earth appear, break and then disappear, mixing with the earth. Similarly, so this point that in the beginning there's only clay, and later on there is bodies, pots, you use, you have fun, you enjoy, and afterwards the pot is destroyed, once again clay is there. So their philosophy is, why you are becoming sad that the pot is destroyed, why you are becoming sad? It was clay in the beginning, you still have clay, you be happy with the clay. That means Prakriti itself is transforming, and at one point there is life symptoms. This is actually our modern philosophy. This is our atheistic modern philosophy that we study in schools and colleges. At some point of material evolution, life symptoms come, isn't it? Life is coming from matter. This is the modern philosophy. Life comes from matter, not life comes from life. And this is the philosophy they will say. It is matter, at some point matter has come into life. You have these bodies, and after these bodies are finished, once again it becomes matter. That means what? You are not responsible for whatever you do. So you do sinful activities, you do whatever activities you do, because in the end everything is, so you can do whatever you like. This is the most dangerous atheistic philosophy. That is not what is being said here by Kamsa. I am just adding this additional point. That's not the discussion here. What Kamsa is saying here is that the clay is always there, the pot is temporary, so that clay is like spirit soul. Spirit soul will always remain. This body is temporary. So don't cry for this body. You look at the soul which is eternally existing. That is his point. So now with that we'll read the purport also. We read yesterday. So he's saying similarly the bodies of all conditioned living entities are annihilated, but the living entities like the earth itself are unchanging. Okay? So living entities are compared to the clay or earth. That is not changing. That is existing throughout, but the bodies are destroyed like the pot. The body is destroyed. So don't become unhappy that the pot is destroyed, but see that the clay is always there. So don't become sad that your children are killed. They are bodies after all. The spirit soul has no death. Spirit soul is eternally existing. Spirit soul was there even before they came as your sons. They are still living somewhere else. So don't become sorry, my dear Devaki. Like this, Kamsa is preaching to Devaki. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. He is speaking Bhagavad Gita. So purport, although Kamsa is described as a demon, he had good knowledge of the affairs of Atma Tattva. Always we see this actually. All the demons, you take Ravana, you take Hiranyakashipu, now Kamsa, they all know this Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Only thing is they don't apply it for themselves. They can preach. This is another lesson for us, because we preach, but am I actually applying it to myself or not? If I'm not applying, then I'm like Kamsa and Hiranyakashipu. So, although Kamsa is described as a demon, he had good knowledge of the affairs of Atma Tattva, the truth of the self. 5,000 years ago, there were kings like Kamsa, who is described as an asura, but he was better than modern politicians and diplomats. See? So, somebody who's considered to be most degraded, he also knew Bhagavad Gita nicely. And in modern day, those who are in the highest posts, right? Take them as whoever, diplomats, politicians, presidents, prime ministers. Do they know Bhagavad Gita? That means the quality of our best men is more degraded than the worst people of the past. And we are being led by these people who are worse than the worst of the past. So, as stated in the Vedas, asango hi ayam purushaha. Asanga hi ayam purushaha. The spirit soul has no connection with the changes of the material body. So this is a Vedic statement. Asangaha means no association, not touching. Ayam, this living entity. Purusha is the living entity. Ayam means this material body or material nature. So this Purushaha has no connection with the changes of the material body. The body undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, sustenance, byproducts, dwindling, and then annihilation. But the soul undergoes no changes. We will discuss this in a minute. Even after the annihilation of a particular bodily form, the original source of the bodily elements does not change. Even after the annihilation of a particular bodily form, like this body, or in this case Devaki's sons, even though the particular body is destroyed, the original source of the elements does not change. What is the source of the elements? So that also we'll have to discuss. 1 minute, I'll discuss that. The living entity enjoys the material body which appears and disappears, but the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air and ether, remain the same. The example given here is that pots and dolls are produced from earth, and when broken or destroyed, they mingle with their original ingredients. In any case, the source of supply remains the same. As already discussed, the body is made according to the desires of the soul. The soul desires, and thus the body is formed. Ishwarah sarvabhutanam hridesh arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of the living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Neither the super soul Paramatma nor the individual soul changes its original spiritual identity. The Atma does not undergo birth, death, or changes like the body. Therefore, a Vedic aphorism says, Asango hyayam purushaha, although the soul is conditioned within this material world, he has no connections with the changes of the material world. So this is like in one purport, we have all of 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and part of 14th chapter. I see all the connections here, only we don't have time to discuss all that, but I will try. So the point is in the purport, the body is undergoing changes, right? So this point, asangohi ayam purushaha. The soul has no connection with the changes of the material body. So we discussed this, I think, yesterday, day before yesterday, I don't remember, how the samskaras are formed in the chitta. Remember, did we discuss that here? Anyway, I'll just say it again. The point is, the soul has no connection with the changes of the material body. What is the body made up of? The body means there is gross body and there is subtle body. Gross body has the five panchabhutas, five gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and pancha tanmatras, sense objects. Okay, this is external. And then you have the subtle body. Subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, ego, and chitta. Okay, so this is undergoing changes. So the gross body, you see, there is birth, there is old age, there is disease, there is death. You see these changes in the gross body. Subtle body is also undergoing changes. Yes, how subtle body is undergoing changes? When you do some activities in this world, whether with your gross body or even with mind also, but let's say, and how you're doing activities with the gross body. All this is starting with the samskaras in the chitta. How these samskaras are there in so in the subtle body, I said there is chitta, man, buddhi, and ahankar. So first there is this chitta. How did these things come? If you go one step backward, when Karanodakashaya Vishnu glances on Prakriti, Prakriti is impregnated with all the Jivatmas coming from Karanodakashaya Vishnu. And he's glancing, he's looking at Prakriti continuously. By his glance, he's sending Kala Shakti, time. Time is bringing changes in Prakriti. Before the Lord glanced, Prakriti is in a balanced or equilibrium state of modes. Prakriti is not changing, she is stable. But when the Lord is glancing, he is sending his Kala Shakti. What is this Kala Shakti? This is the Lord's energy, a special energy which is neither material nor found in the spiritual world, this Kala Shakti. So by the glance of this Kala Shakti, in Prakriti there is a agitation. That means there is the proportion of goodness, passion and ignorance is changing. When there is a change in the proportion of goodness, passion and ignorance, then creation starts. So now, until now, Prakriti was stable. She is known as Avyakta. When glanced by Karanodakashaya Vishnu, this Avyakta now, because of agitation, there's some changes in her. Then she's called Pradhana. She has some additional features. That means she's like a pregnant lady who's just about to give birth. What is it that she's giving birth to? Mahat Tattva. This Mahat Tattva is the first element that is produced from Prakriti or Pradhana. This element Mahat Tattva, a portion of this is there in the subtle body of each living entity called Chittam. Okay? From this Mahat Tattva, This Mahatattva now produces ahankara, false ego. So that's the second next element produced. First Mahatattva is produced, then false ego is produced, ahankara is produced. This ahankara is in, again, there's ahankara in goodness, ahankara in passion, ahankara in ignorance. And then that is producing further elements. In goodness is producing mind and the controlling deities. In passion is producing the senses, 10 types of senses. And in ignorance is producing the 5 gross elements and 5 sense objects. So if you count all these, and also there is mind and intelligence produced there, you will get 24 elements. Okay? So these 24 elements, again, with the Lord's Shakti, now there's another Shakti, special Shakti for all these elements to come together. Like atta, you put water and atta forms a dough. Like that, the Lord's Bibrit Shakti comes, all these elements come together and they form these balls. Like you make atta balls to make roti, like that. They all form universes. Then the Lord enters into the universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and this chunk of elements is also there inside the universe. Universal shell is formed. The shell is made of these elements only. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, ahankara and mahat. These are the 7 layers which form the covering of the universe. And inside the universe also there is chunk of these elements. So Garbhodakshai Vishnu enters inside. And he takes this chunk and puts inside his belly. First he fills half of the universe with his perspiration. He's laying down there. And he takes this chunk inside his belly and keeps there for 1000 years. So in 1000 years, it's like 9 months pregnancy in this world. You can imagine like that. Because yat pinde tad brahmande. Whatever is happening here, same thing is happening in the universal level. So Garbhodakshai Vishnu is keeping this in his belly for 1000 years. Meanwhile, in this 1000 years, those elements are growing into Virata. And then from the navel, the birth of Virata takes place. The lotus stem, and in that lotus stem is Virata Purusha. Virata Purusha also has a gross body, subtle body. Like we have this body, gross body, subtle body. Nothing but his gross body is the sum total of all gross elements. They are there in the body of Virata. And his subtle body is the sum total of everyone's mind, intelligence, chitta, ahankar. That is his subtle body. So Virata has a gross body, subtle body. And inside on his body are located all these 14 planetary systems. The topmost on the head is Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, where Brahmaji is also born at the same time. Virata is born at the same time Brahmaji is also born. And with Brahmaji in that lotus are all these conditioned Jivatmas that were sent by Karanodakshai Vishnu into Prakriti in the beginning. Now Brahmaji, so all these living entities have what? They are not liberated souls. All the living entities in Karanodakshai Vishnu's body are not liberated souls. They are conditioned souls with avidya, ignorance, and karma. So based on that karma, Brahmaji takes from the gross and subtle bodies of Virata, he will take intelligence, mind, how much this person should get according to his karma. That much mind, chitta, he will give. And also he will give the gross body. He will decide who will be the parents, for how long he should live, everything for each person. And then he's sent. So in this way creation, in this way all of us are receiving our bodies the very first time after creation. But after that, now after I give up this body, what happens? I still have my subtle body. It goes with the soul, isn't it? Then I take another body. So now what I'm going to explain is what happened in the very beginning. The soul is coming with karma, but the bodies that are given are completely freshly taken from Karanodakshai Vishnu. So the first thing that is given is this Mahat. And Mahat is in the universal level. Individual level, this Mahat is called Chitta or Chittam. This Chittam is primarily in the mode of goodness. It's very pure. But this is compared to rainwater. When the rainwater is falling from the sky, water in the cloud, when it falls to the ground, water as it is falling, it is very pure. But when it touches the ground, then immediately all the mud enters. When it is flowing on the roads, you see it as muddy water. Why? Water was pure when it came, but after touching the earth, now it became muddy. It took the qualities. Similarly, the chitta, when it is first given to the living entity by Brahmaji, that chitta is very pure. Cheto darpana marjanam. Cheta, right? Cheta darpana marjanam. That means that mirror is very clear. But when that chitta is given to the living entity, his karma, which is coming with him, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, that karma is installed on the chitta and immediately it becomes polluted. Like that rainwater, when it touches the ground, it becomes dirty. That chitta is polluted. Polluted means now it has all the samskaras. Samskaras means impressions. Impressions. How these impressions are formed, that's another question. Impressions are formed when the senses, this is a whole, mechanism. Like in factory, you have, right, assembly, how first this thing happens and this thing, like that. It's a whole mechanism, like a factory, right? This universe on a universal level and individual body level also, same thing. So there are sense objects outside. Sense objects means we generally think dull matters, right? Like maybe I enjoy a laddu, or I enjoy gulab jamun, or I enjoy a movie or a song, or or what else? Different types of enjoyment. But also this is on the gross level. On the subtle level, enjoyment is in your mind also. You will have, like, this is my wife, this is my husband, my children, my work, I did this, right? Copyrights and this and that. All this we are enjoying. These are all sense objects. When the senses come in contact with the sense objects, senses, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind is also counted as sense. Manaha shashtani indriyani. Mind is also the sense, it's the sixth sense. So when they come in contact with the sense objects, what happens is that message is sent to the mind, whatever impression, the sense is coming. So you coming in contact with your environment. If your environment is in the mode of passion and ignorance, your senses will, okay, one more. Let me tell you the sequence first. So the senses come in touch with sense objects, that impression or that message is passed on to the mind, that something is there. Now the intelligence takes that message, and in the chitta you already have samskaras from past. Remember, your karma is installed on chitta. So buddhi, your intelligence, so there's mind, intelligence, false ego and chitta. Buddhi, what it does is, it will take the message coming from mind and it will compare with the samskaras which are already there in the chitta. You may have, just like you're eating laddu today, but you must have eaten laddu many times before. You have an experience of that, isn't it? So now as soon as this information comes about laddu, the intelligence is saying, oh, this is laddu. I have eaten in the past and it is sweet. It is, yellow in color. It is round. It is soft and I like it. All the samskaras are there. It compares and then it gives the knowledge. This is laddu. And then once that knowledge comes, once again it is sent back to the mind. Right? The mind says, I like laddu. Now, taking that message, ahankara. Ahankara is saying, I want that laddu. Ahankara is not saying I want. Mind is only saying, I like laddu, I want laddu. That is mind's function. Mind wants it. Mind wants it. Where did this mind come from? Prakriti. Remember, Prakriti, Pradhana, Mahat, Ahankara, goodness, passion, ignorance, mind, intelligence, Tanmatras, Panchabhutas. That's what laddu is made up of. Mind is also coming from Prakriti, laddu is also coming from Prakriti. Mind is liking laddu. But why I am thinking I like laddu, why I am thinking I want laddu? Am I there in the list anywhere? From Prakriti, when you see all these 24 elements, am I there anywhere? I'm not there. Of course, I'm impregnated in the Prakriti, no doubt, by the Lord. But in that list of 24 elements, I'm not there. I am not Prakriti. I am a different Shakti of the Lord. I am Tatastha Shakti. But still I am thinking. Mind is saying I like it, and I'm saying I like it. Arcanabhakti likes. Why? Because Ahankara is playing role here. Ahankara makes me think I am this mind. I am this body. That's why, oh, I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm intelligent, or I'm dull. That's not me. That's my body, my mind, and my intelligence. I am not that. But still, I'm thinking I am all these things. Right? I look in the mirror and I think, oh, I'm looking good today. That's not me. That's my body. But still, I'm thinking. Why I'm thinking like that? Because of this ahankara. Ahankara is making me, it's called abhimana. Abhimana means identifying. Identifying the self with this body is called abhimana, and this, the function of ahankara is to give us this identification. So while this whole mechanism is going on, the mind got finally information from buddhi that this is laddu, and the mind said yes, from the samskaras, past samskaras, right? You like this laddu, I like it, and I want it also. But ahankara is saying that I want is you, my dear spirit soul, you want it, right? So ahankara makes the spirit soul think that I like laddu, I want laddu. The laddu is put in the mouth. Mouth is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Laddu is also made of same things. Matter is coming in contact with matter, and meanwhile I am becoming happy that I am eating it. I have nothing to do with this whole thing. You understand? This is called foolishness or craziness, or and we live with this every moment. I mean, I'm laughing about it, explaining it to you, but I am also in the same thing. So this is how we are. This is the condition of the conditioned soul, right? Whatever is happening to the body and in the mind, the soul, which is covered by avidya. And that avidya, because of that avidya, now I have this subtle body given by Brahmaji. And in that subtle body, there is ahankara also. So that ahankara is making me think, ahankara, false ego, is making me think that I am this and this is mine. Aham mameti. And with that we go on life after life after life after life, right? Being kicked left and right by Maya. How to come out of this? So anyway, here, the way to come out of this, we have to complete the story. Otherwise, what is the use of knowing all this? So we have to come out of this ahankara. That's what is said in the purport also. Prabhupada is saying, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the changes of the body. You're different. Atma is different from this body. You're different from the gross body. You're different from subtle body. You're different from Paramatma also. That's another foolishness, right? The Gyanis, they don't see difference. Like when they come to a certain point and they realize I'm not this body, but they forget to see that I am, there is two inside. There's Kshetragya and Sarva Kshetragya. There is the spirit soul and Paramatma. They don't see Paramatma. That's another thing. And some Gyanis see Paramatma also. But they're all different. Paramatma is different from Jivatma. Jivatma is different from Atma. One who sees these three differences, that all three are existing and all three are different, and after seeing this, he knows how to come out of this also. That is also there. Simply knowing is not sufficient, isn't it? Right? I know how to make nice gulab jamun, and then I'm very happy about it. I mean, when I actually make it and eat it, then that is the purpose of knowing, isn't it? You simply know everything, but if you don't apply, then what's the use? So similarly, you understand that I am not this body. I am different from the body. Paramatma is different from me. We three are separate, right? Different. Knowing the difference is important. And then identifying what is my problem. My problem is I'm covered by ignorance, thinking that I am this body. I want to come out of this. How can we come out of this? We can come out of this by taking to the path of jnana, bhakti or yoga. Jnana and yoga also need bhakti. So let us say only bhakti. To simplify it, like Srila Prabhupada writes in All Purpose, just take to Krishna consciousness. We won't even talk about jnana and yoga here. You can come out of this avidya when you take to bhakti, when you reconnect with the Supreme Lord. But We are so deeply embedded in this Maya, the avidya covering is so thick that we are not even able to turn to Krishna. Mind is pulled away into material things all the time. We are not able to turn to Krishna. Then our only hope is the mercy of a sadhu. The mercy of a sadhu can remove those anarthas, right, which are not allowing us to turn to Krishna. Their instructions will help us, right, to develop our faith in bhakti so that we can start doing bhakti and this avidya can be removed. And if the mercy is coming and if we still don't take mercy, that means nobody can help us. So our problem is we are covered by this avidya. This avidya can be removed only by bhakti. And once this avidya is removed, then the spirit soul will not see himself as the body. You can be in this body, but still you won't be affected. And same with the other bodies also, not just your body. You will also not have this mama, right? This is my child, my family, my community, my country, my planet. And then crying for that, all that will not be there. You will see things in the right perspective. Now with this background, one more time we'll go over this purport and I will end. So, as stated in the Vedas, asangohi ayam purushaha. The spirit soul has no connection with the changes of the material body. The body undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, sustenance, byproducts, dwindling, and then annihilation. But the soul undergoes no changes. See, the soul has no changes. Even after the annihilation of a particular bodily form, the original source of the bodily elements does not change. What is the original source of the bodily elements? So if you say bodily element, what do you have in your body? Right, you have skin and you have muscles, bones, all these things, blood, a heart, liver, stomach, all these things you have. What is the source of all these things? Those 24 elements, right? So those elements will remain even after the body, you burn the body. What will it turn into? Ashes. What is that? There is earth. This body has those elements, right? So the complex body once again becomes disintegrated into those elements. So even though the body is destroyed, the elements will remain. The living entity enjoys the material body which appears and disappears, but the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air and ether, remain the same, right? But important thing to remember is you are not the body when the body is there, and even when the body is once again disintegrated. In both cases you are different, you are separate from the body. Problem comes when we are identifying with the body. That's when we become sad or happy. The example given here is that pots and dolls are produced from earth, and when broken or destroyed, they mingle with their original ingredients. In any case, the source of supply remains the same. So you understand now, right? Those elements are still there. Then why we are getting these bodies? Because he's directing the wanderings of the living entities as seated on the machine. That means without the help of Paramatma, we cannot do this. Also we discussed, right? Unless we are dependent on Paramatma for anything. There is Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Dravya Shakti coming from Paramatma, right? My intelligence, my skill, and my memory power, and my all these things are coming from where? Jnana Shakti from Paramatma. How Paramatma decides how much to give you? Based on our past karma. If we don't take to bhakti, based on karma. And then Kriya Shakti means how much strength I have and how much I can walk and how, all these things. Kriya Shakti. Everything is coming from Paramatma. We are dependent. Without Paramatma, we cannot even blink our eyes. We cannot even know if there is an ant walking on my skin. So neither the super soul Paramatma nor the individual soul changes its original spiritual identity. The Atma does not undergo birth, death or changes like the body. Therefore, the Vedic aphorism asangohi ayam purushaha. Although the soul is conditioned within this material body, he has no connections with the changes of the material body. So who's saying all this? Kamsa is saying this to Devaki. See, so much philosophy Kamsa knew. He's saying to Devaki that you are not this body, and the boys that were killed, they were also not their bodies. The soul has nothing to do with this body. It's only because of ahankara. You are thinking you are this body and you are thinking they are your children and you are thinking that they are dead. The soul neither takes birth nor dies. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Right? No, not that one. What is the other one? There is no birth. I won't remember when I have to recollect. Anyway, Bhagavad Gita 20. There is no birth. What is that verse?
न जायते म्रियते न.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन. Yes, thank you, Mataji. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. There is no birth death for the spirit soul, so it is separate. Birth death appears to happen to the body, but actually the soul has no birth or death. Kamsa is saying this to Devaki. So your sons are dead, why you are worrying? Don't worry. They are not, their spirit souls. So for that he gave that example of that pot. That pot is in the middle, but actually the clay is there throughout. So the spirit soul is there throughout. Temporarily, for some time the body comes. The body is different from the soul. Don't worry. Like that. I'll end here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
But
Krishna.
we don't know why he's not thinking for himself that I'm not the body, the soul.
His avidya is very thick.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the mercy of a Vaishnava.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
మతసి ఇక్కడ ద్రవ్య శక్తి క్రియాశక్తి జ్ఞానశక్తి అవన్నీ ఏ స్టేట్ లో ఉంటాయి మతసి అంటే ఇప్పుడు సత్వగుణం అనేది జ్ఞానశక్తి ఆ రకంగా తీసుకోవచ్చా లేకపోతే ఇవన్నీ ఒకే స్టేట్ లో ఉంటాయా?
సత్వగుణం అనేది జ్ఞాన శక్తి. మీ క్వశ్చన్ మళ్ళీ అడగండి. ఆస్క్ ద క్వశ్చన్ అన్నమాట. తెలుగులో అడగండి, పర్వాలేదు.
జ్ఞానశక్తి క్రియాశక్తి ద్రవ్య శక్తి అంటే ఇక్కడ తమో గుణం నుంచి వచ్చేదాన్ని ఇక్కడ ద్రవ్యశక్తి, రజోగుణం ద్వారా క్రియాశక్తి, సత్వగుణం ద్వారా జ్ఞానశక్తి ఈ రకంగా తీసుకోవచ్చా లేకపోతే ఎలా అని?
Originally, these things are coming from the Lord only. When the Lord is glancing, his internal energy is only coming in this Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. This is the Lord's internal energy. When the Lord is glancing, it is coming from him. So, your question is, should we take Kriya Shakti as the mode of passion? That's your question? Should we take Kriya Shakti? No, not like that. Kriya Shakti is not the mode of passion, but so you have these three things in Prakriti. You have Karya, Karanam and Karta. So Karya is what? Karya means the body or sense object. Karanam means senses. Karta is the demigods, controlling deities, Indriya, Adhisthana Devatas. From Jnana Shakti, mind is produced and the controlling deities are produced. From Kriya Shakti, the senses are produced. And Dravya Shakti, the Tanmatras and sense objects are produced. So as far as the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, these three gunas, Prakriti is comprised of these three gunas. Everything that is there is composed of these gunas only. So when you say Jnana Shakti, that means it has more Sattva. It has Sattva. It's primarily in Sattva. That means the things that are produced there, they are in Sattva Guna. Like mind and the Indriya Adhisthana Devatas that are produced. So these are produced with the help of Jnana Shakti, right? and they are primarily in the mode of goodness. The senses are produced with the help of
Yes.
Kriya Shakti, and the senses are primarily in the mode of passion. And the Tanmatras and Panchabhutas are produced from Dravya Shakti, and these are primarily in the mode of ignorance. But these Shaktis themselves are actually coming from the internal energy of the Lord. So Paramatma has these Shaktis. Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, they are there in Paramatma. And this Shaktis, that means we also have it. We have that. Like the Lord is releasing, Paramatma is releasing that Shakti to us. Because of Kriya Shakti only, we are doing so many things, activities we are doing. But when we use this Kriya Shakti for sense gratification, then that Kriya Shakti turns into Bahiranga Shakti. But if we use that Kriya Shakti to perform Aarti to Krishna, to cook for Krishna, then that Kriya Shakti is still internal energy, Antaranga Shakti. Originally Shakti, these three Shaktis are internal, Antaranga Shakti only. And they are coming from the Lord. From Paramatma to the individual soul, they are coming. From Karanodakshai Vishnu, they are coming also when he is glancing on Prakriti. His internal energy is only coming. And then with the help of these Shaktis only, all these elements are being produced. Unless the Lord's glance is there, nothing will happen, because Prakriti is Jada. So because of these Shaktis coming from the Lord, different elements are produced. So from Jnana Shakti, the elements in Satoguna are produced. That means mind and demigods. From Kriya Shakti, Rajoguna elements are produced. And from Dravya Shakti, Tamoguna elements are produced. And the Lord in Paramatma is also giving us these Shaktis. So they are all internal Shakti only, Antaranga Shakti, internal energy. But when it is applied for sense gratification, then that turns into Bahiranga Shakti. That means Bahiranga Shakti is also Antaranga Shakti's component only. But it is Bahiranga. Why Bahiranga? Everything which belongs to the Lord is supposed to be used in the Lord's service. When you don't use it in the Lord's service, you're using it somewhere else, then it becomes outside to the Lord. So the same internal Shakti becomes Bahiranga when it is used outside the Lord, away from the Lord, not for the Lord. But if you use it for the Lord's service, it remains as internal Shakti. So now we are using that Shakti outside for sense gratification. All these Jivatmas covered with Avidya. So we are under Bahiranga Shakti because we are using that Shakti outside, away from the Lord. How to use it again towards the Lord? That avidya is stopping us. We are covered by avidya, we are not able to turn to the Lord. So when a devotee comes in our life and connects us with the Lord by bhakti, and when we start doing bhakti, what bhakti does is, it removes that materialness in us. So this Shakti, instead of using it outside, we are using it in the Lord's service. So that activity itself, now it is Antaranga Shakti because we are using it in the Lord's service. But whatever we have used in the past, that is accumulated. That means we have this body, what do you call this? Prarabdha. This body is Prarabdha. That means this is material. Based on our karma, we got this body. But even this material body, all the materialness of this is burnt up by that bhakti as we do. But it's not that as soon as we start, immediately it's burnt up. Just like after we eat, it takes 3-4 hours to digest. So as we keep doing bhakti, even without our knowing, the materialness is getting burnt up gradually and we become spiritualized. So these Shaktis, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, they're all internal energy of the Lord only when you're applying it in the Lord's service. When you do bhakti, then it is all completely internal energy. And our bodies also become, completely spiritualized and everything. Everything is wonderful in bhakti. Sarina? Thank you.